Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
And we are live on the internet again. Nice.
Hopefully for longer than last time.
Hopefully for longer than last time. That is the goal.
The goal today is show completion.
the goal is to finish the job.
Yeah.
Let's hope my internet holds up throughout the entirety of that. But as we started, as we always do, to introduce myself, my name is Matthew Garcia. I'll be your primary host today, and today I am joined by
Taylor Evans. Hello, everyone. How are you? I'll be your co-host today. I'm the co-founder of Tet for Thought, along with Matt here, as well as the current site runner of Culture of Gaming, which is currently another lull right now because I need to crack the whip. Anyway, moving on.
Get on that this next week.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the plan.
Yeah. But as we dive into it here, as just doing a couple housekeeping items, we do always ask that you subscribe to the channel because it does mean a lot to us. If you think we've earned it, it'd be much appreciated. We're at 64 subscribers now. The goal is to get to 100 at least, so we can, get that custom URL, so we don't have to, just give that basically that random text. It's easier to say, yeah, youtube.com/techforthought. That's the dream. As always, as well, we do have a Twitter. The Twitter itself is tech_4, the number 4_thought. We do post stuff there when we go live and other various tweets and things we have and whatnot. If you want to reach us out, that would be a perfect place to do so. And you know what else we have now that's finally been started?
An Instagram.
Yes. The Instagram, I believe, is just actually similar to our Twitter. It's tech_4, but spelled out FOR_thought.
How do you brand? Anyway.
You
the Twitter thing isn't our fault necessarily.
True. You get copyrights on things. That's how you Twitter and brand things.
Yeah.
Because I was reading it, you need to copyright the name of your business to be able to grab it from like Twitter or Instagram or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so we have that going now. We got a couple things posted there. I'm just double checking, making sure I got our handle right. Yes, I did get it right. Perfect.
If you do follow us on Instagram, you might have seen a picture of the keyboard that I was working on building. That is the long said and mentioned GMMK Pro.
Yeah.
Just about everything is finally here. Okay. I ordered keycaps, but they're coming from KBD fans whose store is in China and whatnot. And so those were supposed to ship out yesterday, but due to the typhoon hitting China and northern Taiwan right now, it's basically the place they were dropping it off for like post or whatever already did their last pickup of the day by the time they dropped it off. So they picked up the next business day, weather permitting. And then hopefully, so basically long and short of it is hopefully this next week, the keycap set will be in and we can finally film the video of assembling it.
We need to film videos as well.
Yeah, you saw me putting in the switches, or it's like on Instagram and everything. That was just because I got a stopgap keycap set. But that didn't work out either.
So that's where you went wrong, kiddo.
Yeah, unassemble the entire keyboard again. So yeah, I was gonna unassemble it for the video to put it back together, and yeah. But anyway, I spent like 4 hours ditching with the keyboard, just like taking it apart and shitting it out. So that wasn't very fun. But
yeah, and if you also go to our Instagram, you've also probably seen me post an image of the power pole outside of my backyard.
What power pole?
The one that got struck by lightning.
Yeah, exactly. What power pole?
Fair enough. My doggos are going ham right now. Do you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, so for those who are unaware, in Arizona, we've been having rain for about like every day for the past week. Just about. It's been really nice for the desert and whatnot, but 2 nights ago at this point, there was a massive thunderstorm. And apparently lightning struck my power pole and it just shattered it into pieces. I don't know how I still have power, but I do, so we're live today.
All right, cool.
Yeah, can't complain too much. And then the other image is just the one I posted of me taking a pic of my monitor when we made it on the for the Power Up podcast, or not. I said it again for the Past Sol podcast. And take a
Look,
picture
that's over and buried. Okay.
True, one day. But yeah, I think that's mostly what I've been up to is just trying to get things together. I think what I'm gonna do though is so I could make better scripts because I'm still not confident in my ability.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try Skillshare.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Nice.
But
Skillshare. Anyway, not
but
sponsored by them.
you know what places do have competent writing when they publish stuff?
cultureofgaming.com. Well, most of the time. I have if I'm the one editing it, I have very strict editorial standards. The other editor that's on, she's not as strict as I am, but yeah. So
Yeah.
because I will literally go through and fact check everything. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I like all the stuff that our writers put out, even some of the new ones, so it's all right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
Well, I think that kind of covers it. It's also, explain a little bit what we've done over the past week.
Yeah.
The power pole is in the alley behind my house.
Yeah.
I found debris of the blown up power pole in my front yard.
That made sense.
Yeah. That's how insane
I would
it
hate to be
was.
walking on the street when that happened because you could have caught some shrapnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could the wood still had a nice burnt smell to it.
Nice.
Electrifying. You know what's also electrifying?
Apparently, Amazon's new MMO.
Yep. For our first news topic here, brought to you by videogamer.com. Amazon
Never
MMO.
heard of them before, but they're the first thing that came up on Brave Search, so...
Hey, gotta respect that.
Yeah.
Amazon MMO New World is reportedly killing RTX 3090 GPUs. Diving a little bit into the article, just say Amazon's upcoming MMORPG New World is, according to some players of the closed beta, bricking RTX 3090 GPUs. Amazon is releasing New World officially at the end of August, and this is the final beta before its release. Multiple users, thanks to PC Gamer, pull them up in a moment, have reported that New World has killed their 3090 GPU, which at about 1,400 pounds, yeah, are the most expensive graphic cards you could buy as on
$1,500 US for everybody who's in an actual country.
Yeah, $1,500 US for relevant currency. But they're the most expensive consumer graphics card you can buy. You can buy a Quadro, which is more expensive, but why do that? There's a thread on the New World forum started by the user known as Goats discussing the issue. It begins. So after hitting the play button for New World Beta, the game started to load, following immediately by fan speeds increasing to 100%.
That's also fairly normal. When if like a bunch of shaders and everything are loading, that can be normal. Okay.
FPS dropped to 0. That's
not good.
And then my monitor turning off and my video card is no longer detected.
That's also not good. That's a little bit, I don't know. I almost wish this was a little bit more grandiose. Like, I obviously don't wish harm on anyone, but I wish there was like, I don't know, it's like maybe like a fire or something. Yeah.
Fireworks
sparks
display.
Flying or something. Yeah, or like a smoke show,
A little bit more of a show.
This just seems like, I don't know, like an overcurrent issue.
Yeah, so multiple users there have reported having the same issue, along with users on the New World subreddit. One theory as to why this is happening is that the game's menu uncapped frame rates overheats the card. Strangely enough, this seems to be affected EVGA cards the most. Amazon has yet to address the problem officially, and Amazon announced New World in 2016 at TwitchCon, so it's been in development for 5 years now. It also allows players to colonize a fictional land modeled after colonial America in the 1600s. Amazon is scheduled for release on August 31st for PC.
All right, so while this is a very new and hot topic, it's been in the past 3 days, the situation has developed a little bit, and the article hasn't quite delved into it. But because this is predominantly an EVGA issue, apparently, like most of the reports are being in on people with EVGA 3090s, EVGA is going to be replacing all the 3090s lost to this free of charge to users. So kudos to EVGA, and that's why they're my favorite AIB. But speaking of them being my favorite AIB, they're also arguably the largest add-in board partner, especially for NVIDIA cards. Or actually only for NVIDIA cards, just because EVGA doesn't do AMD stuff. So it's weird that it's like during just QA testing before the beta, this wouldn't have come up with Amazon.
Yeah, it is a little bit strange on that front. To be fair, why 3090s? That's kind of the question, because if it's an uncapped frame rate thing, that doesn't seem like it would brick
Yeah,
only 3090s.
yeah, that's what's weird. You think it's like any card that has like equivalent performance or close to the performance is going to suffer from that issue. Like I'm surprised like a 3080 isn't hitting it or something.
Or like
So what
3080
it
Ti even.
Yeah. So what I think is coming into it and why it's like it might be predominantly EVGA stuff is it could be how EVGA has their clock and voltage tuning set for it and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's like and that would be one reason why it would only be the 3090 because EVGA's tuning is obviously going to be different from a 3080, 3070.
Yeah,
So.
could be very much so. With it, in the PC Gamer article, there was a update to the article, so I was wanting just to cover that real quick. PCGamer.com. The update says, in statements sent to PC Gamer today, Amazon says it has observed no indication of widespread issues with RTX 3090s, despite a few reports of players who say they've experienced hardware failures. Although
It's really funny. They can say there's no widespread issues because not only is it difficult enough to get a 3090, but it's also difficult enough to get an EVGA 3090.
True.
Anyway, sorry.
Although the few games are already safe to play, says Amazon, it will release a patch that caps FPS on the menu screen to reassure players. And here's the full statement. Hundreds of thousands of people played the New World closed beta yesterday, with millions of total hours played. We've received a few reports of players using high-performance graphic cards experience hardware failure when playing New World. New World makes standard DirectX calls and provided by the Windows API. We have seen no indication of widespread issues with 3090s, either in the beta or during our many months of alpha testing. The New World closed beta is safe to play. In order to further reassure players, we will implement a patch today that caps frames per second. That caps FPS on our menu screen. We're grateful for the support New World is receiving from players around the world, and we'll keep listening to their feedback throughout beta and beyond. Okay, so they are doing something about it.
Yeah, it's weird that the menu was uncapped in the first place, honestly. I don't know. It is a common practice, not necessarily for this, but just because it's an efficiency thing.
True, but I've seen Valve not do that on a regular basis.
It's a fairly new thing.
Fair enough.
There's nothing like running, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic at like 900 FPS,
Yeah, you gotta get all the frames you can.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, primary thought is there's overload, trying to render too many frames for the power draw that was given.
Yeah.
I wonder if it...
Again, it just seems like a tuning thing that EVGA has set up.
Yeah.
That's what this indicates to me.
It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah. I feel bad for the people who have been having to deal with that. It's,
yeah.
At least Amazon has acknowledged it, and they've said they're implementing a change for it.
But they've also basically said, hey, it's not our fault,
Yeah.
So, which is probably why EVGA is just doing the whole no questions asked for replacing it thing. Okay, trying to broaden the topic. Any desire to play New World?
I've not heard about it until this article.
I honestly didn't even realize it was coming out this year.
Yeah, I have straight up not heard of it until this article came out, so...
But yeah, like a colonial America-based MMO, that's kind of interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the website, take a look at it. New World, Battle for New World, closed beta. Interesting. You could craft your own bases and whatnot, and not gonna pre-order.
The setting seems kind of interesting to me. I don't know, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah, it does seem
Amazon Game Studios doesn't have an incredible record so far, though. I will say that, marred with like cancellations and development issues.
Yeah, well, hey, this is at least one of the things that it's guaranteed to come out. We'll also have to see more about it later on, but like I said, this is the first I've ever heard about it.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean,
what a way to start,
Yeah, truly. I don't know. I'll have to research a little bit. Hopefully next week when I come back, I'll have a little bit more of an informed opinion on it, but I'm not going to say anything because I know nothing.
Okay.
But anything you want to say about before we move on about the breaking of the 3090s?
I don't know. It's like, I think the situation is just about cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like whether or not we'll find out the exact reason, we can only reasonably speculate that it's a tuning issue that EVGA has for
Mm-hmm.
it. So, and yeah, I don't know. I guess it could have happened with any other game besides it, but this is like
It
granted, it could have with any other game, and this
yeah,
just happened to be the
it's
one.
that was my initial thought. Is it like there if it's an uncapped frame rate issue, there are other games that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we would have seen a problem before now?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It could just be the right combination of draw calls and everything and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, fair enough. Do you wanna? So, with that, let's move on to our next topic then, since it's a
okay.
little bit more cut and dry. Uh, the Freedom Phone.
Oh boy, have I got some thoughts about this?
Yeah. Since you're a little bit more the privacy expert on that front, I will let you go over a bit of information about it. I just initially pulled up the Freedom Phone website, so
Yeah. Well, no, this is all I need. All right. So the Freedom Phone. I guess where to start, right? So I do. So basically, to sum up, the Freedom Phone is it is technically an Android phone. Okay, it runs on very low end to mediocre hardware, all things considered.
mm-hmm.
The phone that they've loaded this onto is sourced from a Indian company and produced in Hong Kong, as well. It's like I think the name of it is like Dookie or something like that, or something like that. But yeah, the model name is
what a terrible name. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
But people buying this phone don't really know that. They just see smartphone. So, but anyway, that's besides the point. And it is a fairly modern looking smartphone. It has a teardrop notch design, decently thin bezels. The phone is decently thin itself. And again, the internals are on the low to mid end, so it's a competent smartphone as long as you're not doing anything too sick of mode on it in terms of hardware. And so basically, but in concept, the Freedom Phone is technically an Android phone, but it's de-Googled. It's running what they're called Freedom OS, which is a combination of what I understand of both Cyanogen and Graphene OS and everything, which are like the two Android flashes you can get
Mm-hmm.
and everything that are like supposedly like de-Googled Android. And if you're in the privacy space of community, well, you probably know about this. You might have a phone running one of these OSs too, and whatnot. So it's not that they don't work with like Google and everything. They just have a lot of the Google services that are inherent to Android ripped out. So people who are a lot more privacy conscientious are into it. So Freedom Phone supposedly runs Freedom OS, which is a blend of it. It's fine. It comes with its own app store, which I think technically, unless you might be able to load onto any Android.
You mean side loading?
Yeah, you might be able because Android allows for whatever app store you want and everything.
Yeah.
Then it's like it might be able to load this onto any Android phone, not just one running Freedom OS, but it depends on if they allow it or not. So yeah, but yeah, they have this company that's doing the Freedom Phone, and I think there's no bigger company behind it. I think it's just
Going down
it's
to the
just
bottom. Let's see.
yeah, I think it's just freedomphone.com. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
just
company.
freedomphone.com.
Yeah, so it has Freedom Phone's own app store and whatnot, and yeah. So and on it are going to be apps that you might have heard about, that are touted in privacy circles or like untacked, unbid tacked apps. So you got like Parlay, which is that alternative social media platform that you might remember last year got on Google and Apple's shit list for a little while there. It has Telegram, Signal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Brave browser, yeah.
Yeah, so
Whatever the alternative to the YouTube that is on the screen, Rumble.
yeah, it has Rumble, Newsmax, Parler, OWN. I think it stands for. Is it One American News Network?
Yeah,
And DuckDuckGo for your search
and
system.
Newsmax too.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again, these are all even like Parlay. I think is back at least on Apple's App Store because the only issue with that was like Apple was just okay. I don't want to say defend Apple or whatever, but it's like basically Apple's only issue with Parlay at the time was more or Parler or whatever you want to call it was that they were concerned about the moderating practices. But I guess Parler said that it's like, hey, we got this covered. They submitted it to Apple, so I think Parler is back on the Apple App Store, but it's not back on the Google Play Store. So
Fascinating.
yeah. Anyway. But yeah, they say it's the uncensorable app store because they don't plan on banning apps or whatever. Which
at least the ones that are not illegal in practice.
Yeah, exactly. And so okay, that's fine or whatever. You have your own app store where it's like a lot of these other apps are banned or whatever, right? Okay, it does come with preloaded apps. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
I
pre.
didn't scroll down far enough. Preloaded. So Rumble, Parler, OAN, DuckDuckGo, Newsmats. Yeah. Um.
I
Okay.
imagine they may allow you to also switch over things if you wanted to use a Brave search
Yeah.
engine or their browser, then you probably could.
hmm
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, with it, it
And I guess the
seems
last big thing too is like they have this whole like privacy like suite or like app or whatever built into, which essentially just seems like one big permissions manager. They call it Trust or whatever.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, your data, your rules, with powerful tools such as Trust, you're in control of what your apps can do whenever you want. Trust will help you understand the security of your device and warn you about possible threats.
Yeah. Really quick, I need to call. So I need to call out someone really quick on this. Okay. So it's like,
Feel free.
um, yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, some ordinary gamers. Are you familiar with that YouTube channel at all?
Some ordinary gamers? Nope.
Okay.
But I will pull them up if it makes you feel better.
No, it's fine. Uh, no, it's fine. You just keep it on this. So it's like they did a video about this and everything. And my problem isn't so much with like my problem with the video isn't so much that he's like all he does is like he makes fun of the rhetoric and the language used and
Yeah.
everything. But it's like the thing is, and but not so much doesn't delve into whether or not it's like is the phone actually more or less secure than like running Android and whatnot, stuff like that.
hmm
And so that's my only problem with it. So I guess the call out is more like, and to be fair, I do partially agree on the rhetoric thing and everything. Like, yes, the rhetoric is a bit, I don't even know the word, like a single word to describe it. The rhetoric is a lot,
Over the top.
yeah, a bit over the top. And it's like, but at the same time, also, any company is going to advertise and market like this too and whatnot. So to like, to pick on this one is like kind of crappy and
Yeah.
whatnot. To pick on this one specifically is kind of crappy. It's like, uncensorable app store. It's like, okay, people know what it means, right? In the sense of, it's like, obviously if there's an app that's illegal and whatnot, it's not going to be
Yeah.
like on the app store. But it's like, okay, come on, people know it's like, have some don't take it at face value necessarily,
Yeah.
take it, yeah. It's like, what they mean, stuff like that. So it's like, so that's the thing. It's like I would have much preferred, and it's like Mudohar, the guy who runs it. It's like he's a very like skilled cybersecurity like expert or whatever and whatnot too. Right now, it's like his virus takedowns are great. And again, I don't have any beef or any issue with him. It just I would have appreciated if his video delved into more whether or not like Freedom OS or the two OSs that it's based on are actually significantly more private than like just a regular Android install would
Yeah.
be.
The
Because
hard
that's
the
the
hard
thing
part
that's
about
counting
that
it
is
all.
it's kind of like it's on pre-order right now.
Right.
It ships in August, so it's going to be a little
Right.
bit of time before we actually get there with it. So, I
Well, no,
mean,
I mean like if you were to like say whether or not like actually go into whether or not like Cyanogen or Graphene
okay,
OS was because that's what Freedom OS is based on or whatever, right?
gotcha.
So I would have appreciated if the video did more of not making fun of the BoomerCon rhetoric and and everything, but which is funny. Like to be fair, it's like and I do agree with the rhetoric thing too. It's like it is a bit over the top. Like I do agree with them over the top, but it's like I'm saying I would have appreciated the video a lot more if it went into like the actual like privacy considerations of the device as opposed to
Yeah, it
yeah
actually delved into the merits of what they're talking about versus just the,
versus just making
haha,
fun of the
poke it
rhetoric.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah, one of the big points that he makes also in the video, and again I'm not talking shit or anything. It was a good video. I'm just saying that it's like when it's like it's like basically a lot of the privacy things are moot because your cell carrier is can like see it anyway, like see the messages and whatnot anyway. But it's
hmm
like not in the Signal app, or it's like not an app specifically necessarily. It's like they might be able to see text messages, but not stuff like that.
Third
And
party
then
stuff.
yeah, and then also like there are alternative cell carriers out there in the U.S. also that
Yeah,
are more privacy oriented too. So yeah. I don't know. It's just I'm basically using this video as a jump off point for like points I want to make too. So yeah, again,
yeah,
no beef with him or the channel or anything like that. I'm a fan of the channel. I'm just saying that it's like should have evaluated the merits a little bit more as opposed to
poke the fun.
as opposed to just the rhetoric. Yeah,
Yeah, no, gotcha. Okay, let me ask you though, for $500,
yeah,
would you buy it?
definitely not. That is way overpriced, and this is where I think the whole like BoomerCon grift comes in and everything. Because this device, best I could find with research, it sells for about $150.
Okay.
Adding your own flavor of already open source like OSs, building out a your own like a privacy suite with a decent UI that's like different than what those OSs already have, and
Yeah.
then having your own app store, that does not cost $350 worth of R&D.
Well, it does to some people.
Yeah. This should be around 250,
To,
honestly.
yeah, I'd believe it, but it's also a first generation of phone, so
Yeah.
I'm willing to
Yeah.
cut it some slack, but not $500 worth of slack. I think,
Yeah.
I think 300, 400 maybe a better offering.
I think 300 would be the
Max.
like the hard cap for me, and that's
Okay.
it. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
But
But I will say, I don't know, so it's like honestly though, okay, so all the whole like BoomerCon rhetoric aside and everything,
yeah,
I will say like as a concept, I actually don't mind this phone.
no, neither
Just
do
in
I.
the sense of, all right, so it's like, just like okay, at its core, it's a concept. It's like a phone. What? No,
Do you hear the car alarm going off?
no.
It's not my car. I could tell that much.
Okay.
Oh, continue.
All right. Anyway, yeah. I will say, as a concept, it's like a phone that comes out of the box that's already like away from like Google or whatever, away from Apple or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is already like a really good start and everything. It's like I know it's like some people in privacy circles have been talking about, wouldn't it be cool if we could just sell a phone with like just preloaded with like Graphene OS already and whatnot. Has this app store that's not tied to a big company either, stuff like that. So
It is nice to be seeing some action taken to separate from the big companies.
yes, but again, at the same time, the rhetoric is over the top. So
It's always going to be over the top.
yes, and that's just advertising. So
Yeah. I mean, they're like one of the classic examples, or more recent examples to be accurate, is with Amazon's, or not Amazon, AMD's Fidelity FX. There was some lines in there about, it looking better than native resolution, and there was like three like tack-ons that were like in this scenario with this FPS and this lighting. It's like sometimes you just gotta stop.
yeah.
Sometimes you can just tell when the
Again,
marketing team takes it
advertising,
over.
and advertising gets gratuitous at times. Freedom Phone was definitely no different. But core concept, phone that's running, like a de-Googled Android, as it's called, and everything and whatnot, is pretty good concept. Has a third-party app store that's like not tied to the again, it's like the concept itself, pretty good. The actual execution kind of remains to be seen,
Yeah.
So,
But while we're on the topic of Google, let's talk about them bricking some devices.
how are you guys the largest company in the world? Largest tech
I don't
company?
know. With it,
Anyway.
Google pushes a one-character typo production that bricks Chrome OS devices. Ooh.
Oh my god.
So Google says it has fixed a major Chrome OS bug that locked users out of their devices.
A major OS bug. Yes, that is one way to describe it. Okay.
Google's bulletin says that Chrome OS version 9.1.0.4472.6.165, which was briefly available this week, renders user unable to log into their devices, essentially bricking them. Chrome OS automatically downloads updates and switches to the new versions after a reboot. So users who reboot their devices are suddenly locked out of their system. The go-to advice was while this is broken, is update their. While this broken update is out, there's no reboot. There's to not reboot. That's the go-to advice while this broken update is out. There is to not reboot. That's such a weirdly structured sentence. The bulletin says that a new build, version 9.1.0.447.167, is rolling out to now fix the issue, but it could take a few days to hit everyone. Users affected by the bad update can either wait for their devices to update again or power wash their devices, meaning wipe all the local data to get logged in. Oh. Did you hear about that last part there?
Yes, I did.
So
a bit of it.
Power wash their...
I've also read this article before. So.
Okay, so yeah. I'll just continue then. Chrome OS is primarily a cloud-based, so if you're not doing something advanced like running Linux apps, the solution presents less of an inconvenience than it would on other operating systems. Still, some users are complaining about the lost data. Chrome OS is open source, so we can get a bit more detail about this fix thanks to Android Police hunting down a Reddit comment from the user at elitist_ferret. The problem apparently boils down to a single character typo. Google.
Oh my! It wasn't even necessarily like a single character. It was literally someone forgot the and, like the second and symbol in an and statement.
Yeah. So Google flubbed a conditional statement in Chrome OS Crypto Home Vault key set, the part of the OS that holds users' encryption keys, and line should read, the bad update uses a single and ampersand, breaking the second half of the conditional statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, one character typo.
Well, no, okay, no, it's not breaking the second half of the statement. It's just breaking the entire statement together.
Because it can't choose at that point.
Well, no, it's not even that. It doesn't know what you're trying to do and everything. You're doing an if conditional statement that's based on two conditions happening simultaneously at the same time. Then it's like, so that's an and statement. And so it's like that the first one, what got pushed, isn't like a valid statement. It's literally a syntax error. It has no idea what you're trying to do unless you have the proper syntax, which would mean making the and statement is that second and sorry. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
And just to finish off the article, it sounds like because of the error, Chrome OS never properly checked user passwords against the stored keys. So even correct passwords came back with the message saying, sorry, your password could not be verified. The whole selling point of Chrome OS is that it's reliable and unbreakable. And botched updates like this hurt the OS, obviously.
Does Google not have any sort of internal testing? Because if it's breaking devices like this would have easily came up.
Yeah, you would imagine. It's not clear how such an obvious show-stopping problem like this made it into the stable release channel. Chrome OS has 3 testing channels that changes are supposed to go through: the Canary, Dev, and Beta channels.
There's IDE softwares that I'm sure Google use that are do have a semi-live compiler and everything. So if you were to make a mistake with this sort of thing and everything, it would call you out right then and there. It's pretty obvious.
You would imagine. With weeks of testing between releases, somehow the bug escaped the entire process. The problem also seems like something a unit test or an automated testing could have caught. Not being able to log into is pretty obvious. The error makes the second...
I checked my college CS assignments more for quality than Google does, apparently.
Yes. But the problem also seems like something a unit... Or I've already read that part. The error marked the second defective Chrome OS update pushed out this month. An update at the beginning of July made CPU usage spike to some models, slowing them down to a crawl. How do they make money?
How are they a thing still?
Google and Google Ads. Like the Google search engine and Google Ads. That's all they make their money off of, and profitably.
Dude, honestly, this is unacceptable. I would fire the guy that let this through.
Well, yeah, that plus...
That's just me.
Either they don't actually have those test channels and they just push
No,
them
they have
live.
to. There's no way. They have to.
They're just lying about their test channels, I would imagine, at this point.
No, I've heard about the test channels before and things being pushed to the test channels. I wrote an entire article, or it's when I was writing my article about a couple years ago about Google killing ad blockers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It's people knew that because that whole manifest update for Chrome that they were going to look at pushing was in one of the test channels. So it's Google does have test channels,
Do they, though? Do they?
Okay, I guess they have them, but whether or not they make use of them is a different story.
There we go. They may have it for Chrome, the web browser, but not for Chrome OS.
Chrome OS. Yeah, well,
those are two different things. Those are two different things.
I know any software development needs test channels, though, especially if it's going to be a public and going to beta.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that one, but Google is going to.
Yeah. This is again, this is both a mix of funny but also disturbingly ridiculous.
It is 100% ridiculous.
Because
Yeah, there's no reason this should occur.
yeah, no, there's just absolutely, and it's like especially such a stupid mistake and whatnot. And it's like I get it, you're human, things happen and whatnot like this. It's like I've made plenty of coding mistakes before, but that's why there are tools that you have after the fact that help you fix and recognize some of these mistakes. You know,
Redundancy is a thing.
exactly. Yeah, so it's like it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake, but it's not okay to not fix the mistake. You know? When you
They
have
are. It'll just take a couple of days.
So when you have so many tools at your disposal to be able to fix the mistake before it becomes relevant, you know?
Yeah. No,
So,
I don't know.
again, as I said, I would fire the guy that let this through. Honestly,
Same. There's just
Sorry.
the news topics this week are just leaving me a little bit baffled. Just the stupidity in some of the things, for lack of better terms. It's just like how does this happen? Like as for like the like the bricking of 3090s. You'd imagine that because there are other games out there that have uncapped FPS in their menus. I know
it's like as I mentioned, how didn't that come up in Amazon's like QA testing and whatnot? It's just like you would want to test it on like big AIB partners too.
Yeah, but they may not have tested it on like the best because they didn't want it to run on the best because they expected it to. So they may have ran it on like a 3080 or a 3070.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But there's no valid reason just to test on a 3090 because that's top of the line. If it works on something smaller, it's obviously going to work on theirs. Probably their train of thought.
True. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. As for Google, they always find a way to mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, biggest software company in the world.
Yeah. Don't remind me. But
okay.
But you know what also is a big software company that's putting out some hardware?
Valve.
Yep, Valve. With their Steam Deck. Steam Deck is targeting 30 FPS, and Valve says they haven't found any games that could not handle it.
Literally unplayable.
Facts. Last week, Valve announced the Steam Deck, their portable Zen 2 powered gaming PC that they promise will be able to run most games at 1280 by 800. Although the resolution doesn't really mean that much on its own if you don't what type of performance the machine is targeting.
Thank you, WCCF Tech. Very cool.
Well, Valve recently let a few more details about their Steam Deck slip in a recent interview with IGN. And those hopeful for the glorious 60 FPS or unlocked portable gameplay are in for a bit of a disappointment. According to the Steam Deck developer Pierre-Luc Grafias, probably something French I can't pronounce, Pierre-Luc Grafias,
so.
It's achieving 30 FPS in games is their target. Thanks to PC Gamer for the transcription, so it was in a different language. If people are still valuing high frame rates and high resolution on other platforms, I think that content will scale down to our 80p 30 hertz target really well. If people start heavily favoring image quality, we might be in a position where we might have to have trade-offs, but we haven't really seen that yet. 800p isn't a big deal to me if you're playing on a small 7-inch screen, but the 30 FPS target is kind of a bummer. Obviously, the Steam Deck is a PC, so some games will run better than that, but I imagine that's what you'll be looking at for many newer games. Speaking of which, according to Grafias, Valve has tested numerous recent Steam games on the deck and haven't found any that couldn't hit that 30 FPS target. And there's just a little bit more.
I'm more interested in hearing about games that can hit a 60 FPS target.
It's
like I don't really give a shit about a
Taylor,
30 FPS.
It's gonna be your favorite genre, the trifecta: indie, platformer, 2D. Or not 2D, pixelated. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You can play some Celeste, get that 60 FPS. Some Shovel Knight.
Yay!
At least Shovel Knight's good. Like both those games are actually
good.
Both games are really good.
I've heard good things about Celeste. I don't know.
I have heard good things. So It's
All right,
won
anyway.
some awards, so I'll give them that.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've achieved a level of performance that is required to really run the latest generation of games without problems. All the games we wanted to be playable is really the entire Steam library.
Implying 30 FPS is playable.
True. We haven't really found something that we could throw at this device that it could not handle. For those who haven't been keeping up, the Steam Deck runs a custom AMD
Even Battlefield 1, huh?
Battlefield 1's a little...
Even Battlefield 5, huh? Okay.
Okay, Battlefield 5, I'd say. Battlefield 1's a little bit older, at least.
Yeah, okay. Battlefield 5. Even Battlefield 5, huh?
We'll see if it can run Battlefield 2042, though.
That's a big thing, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to slap some people with some paddles in that game when they're fighting with paddles v knives.
That Portal trailer was insane.
That Portal trailer, like, I am just so happy they have surrendered to the memes. Although,
it's like Battlefield Ultimate, everybody's here.
Yeah, true. Let's just talk about that for a little bit, because we've already, Steam Deck, we understand 30 FPS, we're not happy. Not much we can say about that.
Honestly disappointing, because like, okay, if I'm spending $650 on the device and everything, it was only a couple short years ago that you could build out a desktop PC that could hit 60 FPS and really popular titles for 650.
Yeah, it's true.
Especially at 1080p, and now this is like sub 1080p.
Yep.
Anyway.
But let's talk a little bit about Battlefield Portals, because that was kind of a crazy
fun to talk about.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fun. Because we can be happy on this podcast, right?
I don't know, man.
Right?
No.
But that Battlefield Portal trailer, it was absolutely insane. I think the main reason I haven't looked into it, so I can't confirm, but is Respawn behind a lot of the Battlefield stuff right now?
Kind of. So Vince Zampella, the father of Titanfall, the head of Respawn and everything, has been also a significant role in helping DICE out, leading the development of Battlefield 2042.
Then that would be why they have surrendered to the memes.
Yes.
Because
give the people what they want. Exactly.
Like, Battlefield, as serious of a game as it can be, and whatnot, because there are people who do hardcore servers and things like that.
Yeah.
The game's a meme. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah.
There have been, God knows how many amazing feats have been achieved between the tank jump shot to kill a fighter versus somebody jumping out of their fighter, RPGing another fighter, then getting back in.
It was literally in the reveal trailer for Battlefield 2042, that shot of someone jumping out of the jet with an RPG, shooting the other one behind him and getting back in.
That's iconic right there.
Yeah.
Along with the classic throwing some C4 onto an ATV and just going.
Yeah. So what's funny is Battlefield 2042 has achieved a level of self-awareness not before seen in a Battlefield game. Because they know that it's does the game look fantastic? Do they want to target 100%. A degree of realism? But one of the things that makes Battlefield so fun and insane to play for me are all those funny moments in the trailer and whatnot that do happen, in a multiplayer game. It's people do strap stuff, to ATVs and send them and shit,
I think
Wait till we're live again.
Yeah. Well, it says it's live. I wonder if it's going to restart it or if it's just going to pick it up from where it was.
Let's see. Let me refresh the page.
Okay, it says we're still live. Yeah. I'm going to take it at that. We're not ending the podcast early today.
Yay. Okay.
Yay. But as I was trying to sound that, the EOD bot versus the people rolling up the ATVs and whatnot, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I know everybody's badass until the EOD bot rolls up.
Right? Yeah, it is fun to see it's this direction Battlefield is taking and whatnot, in the sense of it's they know that people do want to goof around, but then also have a good experience when they're not goofing around, so just give people everything, just
and
it's just a really fun, almost military sandbox, sort of arcade military sandbox that's not as hardcore or intense as Arma, but it's still a little bit more realistic and a larger scale than COD,
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good place.
To be fair, Battlefield games hold up, minus one or two exceptions. They hold up extremely well over the test of time.
Oh yeah.
Battlefield 1 is still going super strong. I love playing Battlefield 1 and running around in trenches with the trench shotgun because good old American pride.
Hey, can that be a war crime, please? No. 6 weeks later, the war's over.
Fact, 6 months later, they surrendered. There was also Battlefield 4, which, I mean, that's probably still the longest standing Battlefield game with the biggest player base.
It's
Just
hilarious that the Germans were literally like willing to gas people in trenches to have them die suffering horrible death had a problem with a shotgun that shot too fast. Anyway, sorry.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Aren't you the
World War
fuckers
One
who
history
invented
nod.
mustard gas?
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, the whole if you kill any of our prisoners, we'll mercilessly execute yours.
Yeah, all of ours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what a fascinating time in history.
Yeah, I know people. It's like focused on World War II being brutal and everything, and it's like, it's like, well, that's because it's like a little bit more modern technology.
Yeah.
World War One was legit brutal.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's not really taught as being as such, you know.
Trench
People
warfare
still-
was a nightmare on both sides.
Yeah, not fun. Anyway,
What were we saying? Something about Battlefield portals. All that I know is I love the direction they're taking Battlefield, because you can be serious if you want, but that's not Battlefield, and we all know it.
yeah,
That's
I'm
how you
glad
play
that development
Battlefield.
time went into like what seemed like porting assets into Battlefield 2042 from other games and allowing you
Yes.
to do stuff like Battlefield Portal, as opposed to a single player campaign that most people probably aren't going to play. You
Yeah.
know? So I'm really
That is very
glad
true.
that they spent development time on something like Battlefield Portal as opposed to a single player campaign, you know?
Yeah, hard piece. I can't wait till it comes out. I am not going to pre-order it, but I can't wait.
Yeah.
When is it supposed to come out?
October, I think?
That's not that bad.
October or November, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway.
But transitioning actually to what we're supposed to talk about, tech related stuff. On to our final news topic, I guess, is the Samsung Unpacked event.
Yes.
I'll start pulling it up here on my side. I believe this is the correct article. Yes. With it, Samsung officially confirms August 11th date for the Galaxy Unpacked event. Samsung. This event will start at 1400 UTC and will live stream on Samsung.com. We'll have an article up to remind you so you won't miss it from, what's this website?
GSM Arena.
GSM Arena. Cool.
Yeah.
I couldn't process it for a moment there. But the UK branch of Samsung is already teasing that the pre-orders will start soon. You'll be able to trade in your old phone, tablet, or even smartwatch to get a discount on the new devices. Or if you're part of the Samsung upgrade program, it may be time to switch to a new device. Samsung US is also taking reservations, promising some perks if acted on now, including a $100 extra trading credit. I find it fascinating that they are, getting pushing it really hard before the event even gets here.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it's not a good sign.
I think that. Okay, so before I say what I'm going to say in response to that, I should preface this by saying, okay, so the 4 devices that we're expected to get at this event are going to be the Galaxy Z Flip 3.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the vertical
Game Boy
one.
Advance looking phone.
The Game Boy Advance one. And then the Galaxy Z Fold 3, which is the book one. Referred to as the book. Yeah. And so, we're getting, and then we're also getting the Galaxy Buds 2, which are actually the the 5th iteration of Galaxy Buds. Because names are very tough.
Yeah.
And because it went Galaxy Buds, then Galaxy Buds Plus, and then Galaxy Buds Live, which were the beans, and then Galaxy Buds Pro, which came out earlier this year, and now Galaxy Buds 2. And then the Galaxy Watch 4, which is the 6th iteration of the Galaxy Watch.
And the Watch 4 Classic.
Yes. Anyway. Again, names are tough.
Be real
all right.
with me.
So what I was going to say was, so I think it's like the reason why Samsung is like doing to respond to what you said. The reason why I think Samsung is like doing all these trade-in incentives so much before the event is because I think Samsung's whole thing is like they think that the foldable smartphone market is something that people will like enjoy and will grow and everything. They just need to get people using a foldable phone. That's the first thing.
They're still so expensive, though.
I know, that's the thing.
Like, I don't think the foldable phone thing, it's too bulky.
They're still so expensive, and also I think the big thing too is like at least the book one, the Z Fold 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
The book one still has so many like software bugs, which granted aren't necessarily like Samsung's fault, or like other apps might not, doing the whole fold thing out might not be scale well for such the new
Yeah.
screen and everything when it folds out. So, yeah,
Yeah, with it
the Note had to die for this year.
how does that make you feel?
Well, this has to last another year, or I just did the S21 Ultra, so I don't know.
Or the S22 Ultra, whatever.
Yeah, I like the Note though.
You like the S Pen?
I don't even use the S Pen that much, but I'm glad that I have it whenever I do need it.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, I okay, is the foldable phone market big in Asia?
No,
Is it big in North America?
no,
Europe?
no.
Why?
The foldable phone market isn't big anywhere, but I think that's what Samsung is trying to make it big by offering people so many like incentives to get one and whatnot. Or, like,
They are
credit
pushing
towards getting
really
one.
hard for it.
They are, yeah. It would theoretically be popular in Asia, especially the Z Flip 3. Um, but again, cost comes down to it also. And then also it's like you are trading off fitness too. Like people I'd say the current like yeah, I don't know. It's like I think with the camera shelves that we currently have going on, phones have a degree of artificial thickness to them that people see and whatnot, if they don't directly feel it in the hand. But it's like sitting on a table, the phone looks even thicker than usual because of how
Yeah.
much it's like levitating off because of the camera shelf on a lot of devices right now. So,
Yes, that's the big thing there is that shelf does make a difference.
mhm.
I'll admit, I'm still rocking an S8 Plus. Like, I don't care. I've never bought a new phone, so it's like I don't understand the need for how do I say it without insulting them? Pointless innovation.
Okay, yeah.
That insults them. I don't care, because like I don't see the need for it or the want either. It doesn't make any sense to me that they're pushing so hard for something that just isn't panning out.
hmm
I guess they're trying to do it as like their gimmick, but
Yeah, that's what a lot of it comes down to, especially more so with the flip, the clamshell one and
Yeah.
everything. It's like, okay, that one's more of a gimmick more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like has a smaller height in your pocket, which I guess is good for women, but at the same time, women's pockets are also kind of like they don't have a whole lot of height to them either. So
Yeah.
it's like if you're doubling the thickness, that doesn't really solve the problem,
No, it doesn't.
And then folding over,
You could
it's like,
also argue it makes it easier to throw in a purse if a female does throw it into their purse.
true,
So
yeah.
makes a difference there depending on the size of the purse.
Yeah. I have a lot more like tolerance for the book one, the Z Fold 3, or like
Mhm.
the Z Fold or whatever they call. I forget which one. Do they both have a Z? Does only one have
Yes,
a Z?
they
I
both
don't
have
know.
the Z.
Okay, it's the Z Fold and Z Flip. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, so I have a bit more tolerance for the Z Fold 3 because I think there's more of a market for, a normal sized phone that you sacrifice thickness, but then folds out to become more like a tablet experience. There's a lot more of a market for that, I think, as opposed to just a normal sized phone that folds over on itself.
Yeah.
You know?
That depends on how they do it. There's also just like, at some point the phones are just too big. Like that's one of the reasons why I just don't like the Note, like the one you have. It's just because
Okay.
I find it just like a bit too much. Like the
Oh,
S8
okay.
Plus is about as big as I like personally.
hmm
Um, you know the last truly gimmick company, LG.
Yeah,
Yeah, where are they now?
dead.
Yeah, it's like Samsung. All you have to do is just like push out good phones. It's like at a reasonable price at least.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. Maybe I'm just salty because we're not getting a new Note this year. But Samsung has claimed that it's like, yeah, there's no new Note this year because of the chip shortage and whatnot. So what? It makes more sense to launch two new phones as opposed to just one Note and skip the folds this year.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
come
lying to
on.
you.
Yeah, it's like that's a load of shit. I know the Note hasn't been selling well lately, but that's because you've been gimping the features since the Note 9.
Giving the
So
features as well as making it aggressively more expensive.
yeah, exactly. For the love of God, it's more economic to buy an iPhone 12 Pro Max than it is to buy a Note 20 Ultra. I can't believe Apple and value are in the same sentence, but here we are.
And correlated.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Again, it's absolutely ridiculous. Apple and value in the same sentence, but yeah.
I'll probably, when it comes out, we'll probably do a recap video that we'll post on the channel instead of like talking about it here, just because it'll be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
When is August 11th? What's that, like a Monday?
I think it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday.
Oh,
That's
whatever, Samsung. Fuck off.
pretty much like that's such a weird.
Okay.
I don't know. Pretty much, yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't think I'll ever have a desire to use a folding phone, though. That's the thing, because like,
No.
I guess the way that I look at it is like, I already like my phone so big and everything. It's like, in the sense that it's like, and if I want any larger, and this is the same reason I don't really like tablets too much either, or at least don't personally use tablets. If I want any larger screen than my phone, I'll just go to my laptop.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
so,
I don't like folding phones because it's just another point of failure.
the hinge. Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing me and my history,
there's another
not just
thing
dropping on it, but like if I, like sit on it weird, it's done for.
Yeah.
I have a terrible track record with my phones, so I guess if you want to, beta test a phone to see how durable it is, I'm the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Samsung, hit up with a Z Flip 3 and see how the hinge holds up.
Give me 2 weeks, see what I can do to it.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean that's kind of our main topics for this week.
The Note died for this.
The Note did die for this. How does that make you feel?
Really upset.
What if they come back next year with the Note?
I'll be happy.
Okay.
Although I hope they do something to change up the game anymore, because they need something more than just it has a stylus in it to like sell on it. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
You also got that big screen.
Yeah, this is completely like wishful thinking, but it'd be crazy if the Note 21 like brought back every feature Samsung has killed over the years. Like if they brought back the headphone jack and everything, stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, I was in Felicia's car this morning and whatnot. And she was wanting me to play some music on her phone. She recently got that S21, right?
Yeah.
I picked up her audio jack and I said, "What the hell is this on there?" Because it had a dongle attached to it.
Oh yeah, I gave her the dongle for it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, "Oh, you got to be bullshitting me."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Headphones jack are just nice. I don't like having extra stuff or extra points of failure to me.
Okay.
Just keeping it simple.
The headphone jack is another point of failure, though.
Yeah, but then you could argue a dongle connected to it is a...
Yeah, you break even, right, at that point? But
I would say it's more of a loss because you could lose a dongle. You can't lose a headphone jack. Well, except if you're upgrading.
you can short out a headphone jack and break it if it hits water, right?
Yeah, you could argue that about a dongle as well when it's connected.
Not necessarily, because the dongle is unpowered unless it's connected to the phone.
Well, so point still stands. I don't...
Bottom line, the dongles are stupid.
Bottom line is dongle are stupid. Knowing myself, I'm going to lose it.
Okay, got it.
That's why I don't trust myself with one of those.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the news topics for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and let me just check, see if there's any fun comments or anything. Outside of my disconnected, reconnected notification now.
Okay.
So in terms of, things you want to talk outside of tech-related stuff, was there anything you were wanting to cover? I think we kind of covered it with the Battlefield.
Yeah, I think so. Those are the things this week. No, I think I'm good.
All right.
Thanks.
Perfect.
I'm still just salty about... This was a really salty podcast.
All of them are salty. Let's just be honest here. It's past the salt.
I know, that's kind of the gimmick, but, like, I felt like this was saltier than normal.
Well, it is. I mean, there's not much happening news-wise right now, so...
No.
So let's cover the house items real quick. If you think we've earned it, we do always ask that you subscribe. We are looking for that 100 subscriber mark to get that custom URL because it just looks so good. If you think we've earned it, we do appreciate it. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you could check out @tech_4_thought. You'll see stuff like when we go live, other various tweets and whatnot. And after weeks and weeks of me saying it and we finally acting on it, we finally have an Instagram. Yep.
Yeah.
Yay! And how do you brand? By using a different handle. Tech_4 spelled out FOR_thought. See a couple posts that we made there recently. And of course, if video games are more of your thing, check out our affiliate, cultureofgaming.com.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that, Taylor, since it's your wheelhouse there.
No, I've already said what I wanted to say about it in the beginning.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
The gaming news source, anyway, and opinion source and whatnot. Yeah.
Gaming news, opinions, and reviews when we get them.
Yeah, mostly focuses on PC stuff, but also multi-platform stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah. I think we should
check it out.
We're culture of gaming, not culture of PC.
Exactly.
Culture
of PC gaming.
Yeah, and Taylor, where can the good people find you on the internet?
Find me at INFERIUS7809 on Twitter. That's the only social that I'm like any reasonably active on. I try to keep it mostly anime stuff, but a lot of other stuff does bleed into it just because, yeah, but my timeline is mostly film. Huh?
One platform.
Yeah, exactly. My timeline is mostly Twitter stuff or anime stuff, so yeah.
Nice.
Hit me up there. And
as for myself, you can find me at Filmed by G-Man. I usually go by G-Man Films because I kind of like reserved that name back in the Play era of YouTube.
That's when you could still like realistically reserve name.
Yeah, when you could still when like the like video game channels were like starting to dominate YouTube is kind of when I took that when I was like in middle school because G-Man is a family nickname.
Nice.
But yeah, so Filmed by G-Man because G-Man Films was taken when I created my Twitter some odd years later in college. Yeah, feel free to reach us out there. But of course, if you want to reach it, keep it more towards Tech for Thought stuff. Check out our Twitter and don't be afraid to message us or tweet at us on there. And I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Do you all thank you for tuning in?
Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week.
See you then.